Welcome to the Kingdom, guys. This is part 2 of episode 3 of Royal Vision Podcast with Max Anderson. So stay tuned for that interview. So, as we were talking about external pressures, how do you feel that those external pressures, the external expectations from coaches or fans or even the media, how do you feel like that might affect an athlete's game?
It can really affect your game. It really, some of the stuff it's like it's outside of your control, and I feel like you just got to have the right people around you to guide you through it because it can be tough, but you got to keep your eyes on the main thing. Every game, our goal is to come in and win these games and execute game plans. So the outside noise we got to be able to tune out. You got to be able to be able to not worry about that stuff, be able to worry about what we got to do to execute, what we got to do to win, what we got to do to come out with the victory in the game. So I just think that, being able to tune out the noise is something very important and something you got to be able to do to be, a high-level and successful athlete.
For sure. And I know football's a little bit different than basketball because with football, I remember I had this helmet on. I can barely even hear myself think.
Yeah.
So what's probably like the craziest thing you've ever heard just playing sports?
In like what way?
Just like maybe they were saying something about you. Maybe they were just trying to say something that would just knock you off your game. What do you feel like the craziest thing you've ever heard it was?
I mean, there's a whole bunch of, everything you can think of. I mean, you have your student section guy, people from different schools call you every name in the book, call you ugly, try to make you talk about your insecurities, I guess you could say. And then you'll have the media talking about some other stuff like, maybe outside of your control. Then you'll have, some family friends talking about a big game that you maybe got coming up, and they're super excited, saying that if you do this, maybe it could go this way or something, talking about a game. But, you just got to be able to not really worry about what they have to say, being able to, like I was saying before, tune out the noise, and just being able to really lock in on what your coach has planned for the game and what you have to do to, help your teammates and team help win. So I really feel that, being able to push that all the way and just really dial in on the games and stuff, and the game plan is really important, and that's what you have to be able to do to be able to execute and play at a high level and play on big platforms too.
For sure. So it's one of those things where it's like when everybody and everything is telling you don't or that you can't, it's really just about having that conviction inside that's like, I can do this, I will do this, I will accomplish this. It's having that internal fire in you. That's the biggest thing. Remembering your whys, remembering like why it is that you started in the first place. That's the biggest thing that kind of drives you.
And speaking about that, like all those fans that are talking crazy, saying all this, and all the media talking about whatever is going on, and the friends and families just hyping up a game. They don't know what you put into that. They don't see that all the hours that you're putting in the work, you're doing all those little things, help build your team to become a winning program and help, be a successful athlete and all that stuff. They don't see what you put in. They just see you on the court playing, and they're just trying to get in your head, but they don't know that extra stuff you be doing to become a great player. So it's like, why even listen to them? They don't
For sure.
They don't know the type of player you are. They don't know the X and O's of the game. So it's just like, it's what you can say whatever you want. You're not really affecting me. It's not doing nothing. So, I mean, that's just the way I look at it. So.
Yeah, because there's like a same thing. Like the way I see it is like there's a reason that you're on the sidelines and I'm right here.
Yeah,
right now.
Exactly. Like there's a reason. Like I worked hard to be here, and so it's just like, why listen to that? It's nonsense. So it is what it is.
And so with a belief system, how do you feel like that belief system shapes an athlete's ability to just perform at the highest level?
I mean, being confident in your game, takes your game to a next level. I mean, if you put in the work and then you have that confidence where you just know you trust it and you know that you know what you're capable of, you know what you can do. That alone just like takes your game to another level. Like being able to come off a screen like a Quasi and being able to shoot that deep three, because some of the threes he's be shooting, they be deep.
They're like 28 feet.
Like
some of them are like 28 feet.
Being like, and him knowing that he can make that, it's just like I mean, having that confidence in yourself, because if you miss that, that's a bad shot.
Yeah.
If you miss that, it's a bad shot. But being able to know, hey, I put in the work to do this, I'm gonna shoot it because I know I can make that. I put in the work to do it. Being able to have that confidence is just, that's what really makes you great. So I mean, like I was saying yesterday, Quasi does all the little things. He puts in the work after practice, before practice. he was during football season. I'm coming into Spanish class first period. He's on his Chromebook watching film. Like, just being able to have that confidence and belief in yourself is just what can transition your game to another level. So I just think, having that is something that can make you a really special athlete.
For sure. And so, like, what's with having that confidence? What's the key to having that confidence, believing in yourself, but also remaining humble at the same time?
Knowing that there's always someone better than you. I feel like knowing that I'm doing good right now, but knowing that I have to keep getting better because there's other people that are doing the same thing, but if not better than what you're doing. So, always knowing that you're not, just because you're doing good right now, just because you're doing good right now doesn't mean there's someone not doing better than you.
Yeah.
So I just having that in your mindset that you always got to keep doing what you're doing because there's someone out there that may not have the same platform me that might be better than me, but when he gets his opportunity, that's when he's going to take advantage of it. So I feel like knowing that there's always people out there that are probably doing above and beyond what you're doing can always help keep you in check and keep you working and keep you in that mindset where I know I'm doing really good right now, but there's people out there working really hard just like me. So I got to keep doing what I'm doing to seize my moment and seize the opportunity.
And this, you could talk about yourself or you could talk about just athletes in general, but has there ever been a moment you felt like quitting or you felt like there would be a moment where an athlete would want to quit? And what do you think it was that pushed them over that barrier to keep going?
Yeah, there's been a lot of times like that, especially for me, but I would say that being just like having your whys, knowing why you do the things you do. Because you could quit, but you never know what y'all can accomplish together.
Yeah.
And doing it for not only yourself, but doing it for your teammates, Because, if I just wanted to, quit football and quit basketball, like, what would that do to my team? That could hurt them.
Yeah.
And that could make them struggle. And why would I want to put them in that situation when those are my boys? I want to make sure that, even though if I don't feel like doing it or if I don't feel like playing or if I don't feel like, doing it, I'm doing it for them. I'm playing for them. Those are my boys. I don't want to put them in a hard situation. I don't think they want to do that to me either. So having your whys and having the people that and the reasons why you do the things you do is really important. So
because I feel like one of those things that you have to remember is when you're playing, there's moments where maybe a call doesn't go your way. Maybe there's a cheap shot from one of the defensive ends. What's kind of the key to just keeping a level head and not straight up just killing that defensive end or maybe setting a hard screen on another player?
Yeah, there could be moments in a basketball game because I struggle with this too. But a ref calls a bad foul and I'm like over here freaking out, like how is that a foul? And if I keep freaking out, I can get a technical.
Yeah.
And that can be a huge. And depending on who we're playing, that can be bad. But being able to being able to just move on from it and just being able to play the next play. That's something being able to really lock in and have the next play mindset is really important, and it really helps too. So I would say that.
And with being an athlete, one of the biggest things is balancing personal life, but also that athletic life. So how do you do that, especially with playing two sports?
It's tough, going to school, not only going to school, but being, going to different schools, serving my community, going to read books to kids, trying to be, a really impactful person in the community is not only Spring Mills, just in Martinsburg in general. It's tough, but you got to be able to get your school done. You got to be able to go to practice, and then you got to be able to put in the, extra work and what it takes to, like we've been saying, be a really good athlete. But, you just got to get it done. So, because I can't go to WU with a 2.0 GPA. That's not possible.
Yeah.
I have to find time to get my schoolwork done. Then I have to find time to put the work in, and then I have to go to practice and stuff like that too. So, having a good, being able to balance your time and being able to manage your time, getting stuff done within the time frame you have is really important.
So kind of walk me through your typical day, whether it's football season or basketball season.
I'll talk about my summer actually, because that's probably like the most busiest times of my like workouts and stuff like that. So in the summer, if it's a Monday, I guess I'd say I'm waking up early, going to football practice, and then after that, we have basketball for 2 hours. So then I go to basketball, and then 4 days out of the week I go to a training with Demetrius Jalepis. He's my weight room trainer, and I put work in with him. And then after that, I go watch film 2 days out of the week. So I would say one of the days would be today. I'd go watch film with my guy Mike, and then almost like every day I would say with Brandon Ashenfelter, I would go, do some quarterback drills and stuff, and go throw with him. But like, yeah, I mean, my days in the summer are really busy. I got practice and workouts all day, so I mean, being able to, and some days it's tough. Some days it's like, I'm so sore, I'm so this, I'm so that. But having that grit and determination to be able to push through it and do it, because it's really getting you better and really getting you stronger, really separating yourself from other people, because not everyone likes to do that and not everyone wants to put in that work. So it separates you from the other people that don't really want to put in that work. And I mean, that's a normal day for me. I'm usually doing like in the summer, I'd say for like 4 to 5. Not every day I have all those workouts, but like there are some days where I have like 5 workouts. So it's just like being able to push through those days and get it all done. I mean, it's what makes you a better player, better person, better athlete, and it's just, and that's what you have discipline for. Being able to do it like you love it, even though if you hate it some days. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's what I'd say about that.
And when you say early, so like 6 a.m. typically?
Yeah, I mean for Brandon, like in the summer, right now we go like Sundays at 9 p.m. But like in the summer with Brandon, I wake up at 5 a.m. to go throw in the morning with some college receivers and stuff like that, just so I can have my day to be able to go to basketball and then go to football, and then after that I can go watch film. Because waking up early, I mean, you have more time to be able to do more stuff. Yeah, and that's why we go early for Brandon, because I mean, not only do those college kids, they have to go work, they have to go to football, and then they have film and all that stuff. So, you have to be able to, wake up early, knock those stuff out, so you have more time in your day to, do more stuff.
For sure. I feel like that's one thing that people don't understand. They're like, they always say, I don't have enough time. That's probably my least favorite phrase in the world. I don't have enough time. You have the same 24 hours as Max and me. Yeah. I get up at 4:30 every morning. Max probably gets up at 4:35 a.m. every morning. Like, if you just wake up, instead of waking up at 7, wake up at 6. Instead of waking up at 6, wake up at 5. And then instead of having 8 hours, you now have 12. You have 15 hours where you can just get so much more done. Yeah. And I don't know. I know you post on TikTok a little bit, and I post on TikTok a little bit, but I'm sure you're not one of those doom scrollers either. You're probably spending a lot of your time working on getting better. Like, if you're on your phone, it's because you're watching film.
I mean, and I'm not going to sit here and say that, I'm never on TikTok where I'm not just, on there scrolling, because I do. I mean, I have my flaws where I'm not doing the right things all the time, but like,
sometimes you got to relax.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes, I mean, having breaks sometimes is good. You can't overwork yourself, because that's a really big thing. And I sometimes struggle with that too, overdoing too much all the time, because that hurts you. That's how you get injuries and stuff like that. Overworking, because I'm always trying to make sure that I'm being the best version of myself, but also overworking your body sometimes, that can really cause injuries, make you exhausted, make those those days you have 5 workouts even harder. So you got to be able to know when you're doing too much and when you're not doing too much. But like, even like, I'd say going through school at the beginning of the year, and I mean, at the beginning of the year, I mean, I struggle with getting up sometimes too, just because I got to wake up for school. But like in the summer, like, I mean, I do a good job in the summer of being able to get up early, because I guess not as much school and not as much work, but like, you got to be able to know when enough is enough, and know when you got to give your body some rest, because, I fall victim to, be on TikTok scrolling sometimes too. So it's just I'm not a perfect person. So, I mean, sometimes you got to just you just got to be able to get up and create time for yourself, because you always have time. You just got to be able to get up, get done what you need to get done. And if if you're getting up at a later time and then you're saying you don't have enough time, you just gotta push everything back earlier and get up earlier so you can get everything done. So that's what I would say about all that. So
thinking about, well, I could either go to bed at 10 or I could stay up till midnight scrolling on TikTok or playing Among Us or Fortnite or whatever it is. It's the decisions you make that shape your destiny.
Yeah, and if you go to sleep late and you have to wake up early, it's gonna be really hard to get up. But if you go to sleep at a good time, like if you go to sleep at 8, it's gonna be a lot easier to wake up at 5 a.m. You can't just go to sleep late and expect to get up early, because it's hard. You're gonna be exhausted, and then when you're going through your workouts, you're gonna be dead tired. So you actually gotta, make sure you get some good rest, make sure you get some good sleep, because that stuff is important. Like, you can't shorten your sleep, because that's when your body gets its full rest and you get to heal your muscles and all that stuff, and your brain. I mean, all that stuff. And getting sleep, it's like a nutrient to your body. Like, it needs it. So you can't just be on TikTok till 12 a.m. and then go to sleep and then expecting to be able to wake up early and then to get all this stuff done, because your body needs rest. So that's very important too. I think people underestimate sleep. Like,
yeah,
it's really important.
And don't think that, like he said, we're not perfect. Don't think that I always wake up at 4:30. Yeah. Sometimes you got to get your break, but it's kind of just finding your flow, finding what works for you. Maybe waking up at 4:30 doesn't work for you. Maybe you got to wake up at 6. Whatever works best for you. That's the biggest thing. And so, like, how do you feel like you find your balance between your personal life and your athletic life? Like, how do you, obviously you're the same person regardless, but like, how do you feel like you show up in each way?
Yeah, I like, outside of sports, I like spending time with my friends. I like going out, doing stuff, going swimming, just hanging out. Or like, for me and my boy Bradley Butts, we love going to the gym together. So going to the gym, hanging out, talking, just, having fun with them. I mean, it's not always just, for me, it's not always just football, basketball, football. I mean, you got to have an outside life so you can still be able to have fun in what you do and not drain your body and drain your mind from playing the sport, and especially playing at a high level. You got to be able to have an outside life and be able to have friends. And I like, for what I do, I like to hang out with my friends. And some people like to play the game. Some people like the game, and that's fine. You just got to know when you can and when you can't do it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to get what you need to get done. And then once you have free time, be able to play the game, go on TikTok, go hang out with your friends. You got to be able to, balance your time and manage your time and know when you should and when you shouldn't be able to going out and doing whatever. So,
yeah. And so with having, that outside support, those friends, those other relationships, one thing that I think about is after you guys lost the state championship in football, how did having that outside support really kind of help overcome that feeling? Because that's your senior year. That's the last football game you're playing.
I mean, yeah, it was super hard. We had our moments. We had our opportunities to win that game. You look back at the game, you watch what you did wrong. You're like, dang, man, I really could have did a better job at that. But for what really helped me is that as soon as I got done with football, I was right into basketball. So you got to get in the new mindset. It's like, all right, we're a really good team. We just lost in state championship for basketball too, and we got everyone back. I gotta move on. I can't let this affect me for this long. I gotta, get back in the right mind for basketball to help these guys and help all my teammates achieve the goal to win a state championship for this sport. So, and obviously I had friends and family that showed tremendous support. All the Spring Mills community people that came out all the way to Charleston to support us. I mean, it was awesome, and they all helped me get over it. But being a two-sport athlete, going into football and playing the state championship, and then coming into basketball, knowing that we can compete for a state championship, it really distracted me to move on and really lock in and dial in for this sport, because I can't be still carrying that over into this sport. Not giving full effort. Man, just still being just dead. I guess I could say just being dead minded and not being like locked in. I gotta lock in for these guys so we can go win a state championship for this sport. So I think that helped me, not really think about it as much and stuff like that. But I mean, it hurt, but gotta move on. Gotta help this group, get the job done for this sport. So
yeah, because think about that game. Like, that's a roller coaster game. You guys are up and then you're down, because one of those things you have, like Martinsburg's Coy Fagan. Coy's a really good player, really good athlete,
really good,
tremendous. And so kind of what's going through your mind throughout that game, because first you're up and then you're down and then you're tied, and then so.
I mean, our mindset, like going into, let's say we're going in the first half, going into halftime, I felt like that we were trying to talk more trash than playing the game and executing our game plan. So I came into halftime. Yelling and screaming at our guys, because I felt like we were getting caught up in the trash talk instead of not worrying about what they're saying and executing what we need to do. So I came into halftime screaming, yelling, like, we need to lock in. We're over here trying to talk trash, letting these guys get in our head, da-da-da-da-da. And after that speech, I said, hey, we're gonna come out here. We get the ball back. We're gonna come out here and go score, and then we're gonna keep scoring, and then we're gonna keep doing what we gotta do. And we're gonna execute the game plan. We're not gonna get distracted by this no more. And then we came at halftime. We tied the game up.
Yeah.
Then they scored. And then we matched them, and then the game went on and went on. But I think the second half we did a much better job. Defensively, we did a good job. We turned them over like 5 times, but I think us getting caught up in the first half with the trash talk and stuff really hurt us too. So looking back at it, we got to do a better job, especially for the group coming back for Spring Mills. They got to do a better job of tuning that out and being able to move on and being able to just lock in and execute the game plan. Because who cares what people are talking about in the game? To be able to win at a high level, you just got to be able to worry about the game plan and being able to execute it.
Yeah, because I felt like just watching that game on TV, I felt like you said your defense. I was probably one of the best defensive games you guys played. Despite them, I think they ended up scoring like 20-some points.
Yeah,
but
5 turnovers. You can't ask for anything. You can't ask for anything better. I mean,
5 turnovers.
Coach Hessen. I mean, Coach Buddy Hessen does a really great job of making sure we know our assignments, making sure we know what they like to do, what they like to do at different downs, what they like. I mean, we all knew Corey was going to get the ball a lot and do what he did, but knowing the way they line up and knowing where they're going to go with it. I mean, we did a good job of causing havoc and getting turnovers, but they still came out with the win. But I mean, Coach Hessen is a great coach and a really great guy, and he does a great job defensively and game plans and stuff like that. I mean, we held I would say 7-8 teams shutouts. Like that's crazy. That's not normal in football. There was 8 games where we were going into a team hasn't. We were in our 8th game and teams haven't even scored on us.
They didn't score on you, so I think you guys played University.
Yeah,
it was a field goal. It was a field goal. Yeah,
it's crazy. That's just us believing in him.
Yeah,
and believing in his game plan, and he does a really good job of making sure we're locked in and making sure we're ready for whatever the team's bringing at us. And 7 or whatever. I think it was 8 or 7 shutouts is crazy. So
yeah,
I mean that's not football. That's not something that happens in football. So that's just a testament to show what Buddy Hessen brings to the Spring Mills program.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, same thing with basketball. Shutouts aren't normal in basketball either. I remember, I think it was my junior or senior year. We're playing Jefferson, and we're halfway through the second quarter. It's 24-0. That doesn't happen in basketball. That's something, like you were saying, that's trusting in your coach's game plan. That's listening. That's saying he knows better. I'm going to trust him and following my rules and what I need to do so that we can get the result that we want, which is ultimately to win.
Yeah.
Whether it's by 100 or if it's by 2. But
yeah, that's a big thing. Being able to believe in what your coach what your coach has dialed in for the game plan. Being able to be like, all right, coach, I'm gonna do everything you're telling me to do, and I'm gonna do it as hard as I can. And I mean, because people, if you don't do that, then that's how you have different players going out. If you're playing basketball, you have players isoing instead of moving the ball, sending a screen. You're not getting nothing out of just isoing. So being able to do what your coach is telling you to do, being able to listen to game plans, being able to dial in, and y'all all execute the game plan together. I mean, especially if you have a really good coach that has, strategizes well and knows what to do against what other teams do. I mean, really being able to lock in and focus and do what your coach does and tells you to do. And whether if it's a good game plan or not, being able to just do it hard and do it at a high level, I mean, you can that's how you become great. So I think doing that stuff is what can help build winning teams, and not doing that, fading away from that, doing the opposite will cause losses and cause bad games and stuff like that. So I feel like that's very important.
What do you feel? This episode of Royal Vision Podcast is sponsored by Trophies Plus here in Martinsburg, West Virginia, where you can get your embroidered needs. They have service awards, trophies, and also sublimated mugs. So if you're looking for anything embroidered, anything to celebrate a special occasion, go to Trophies Plus here in Martinsburg, West Virginia to go get those. And what do you feel like what's the key to being coachable?
Oh, being coachable is that's the biggest part of sports. I think you got to be able to, because your coach is going to yell at you, but if it's not in a bad way, it's just in a way of him trying to get you better and get you prepared for games. Being able to listen to coach telling you messed up here, but not taking it in like he's just picking on me, he's always yelling at me, but taking it in a way, He's yelling at me because he wants me to do better so we can execute these games and win these games and do what we need to do. It's a very important thing. And if you're not coachable, you'll never, if you're not coachable in sports, you'll never succeed at the highest level, because that's the biggest thing, is being able to, your coach saying, hey, Max, you got to do a better job of knocking down your free throws. You got to do a better job knocking down your free throws. And me not taking that as he's just picking on me way, instead of taking that, or he's just trying to get me better and make sure we're doing all the little things what it takes to win games. So being able to be coachable is, I think, especially nowadays, a lot of kids aren't coachable. A lot of kids don't listen to their coach. A lot of kids like to do opposite what their coach tells them to do. Is crazy, but it's just, you got to be able to do that to be able to win games and win big games on big platforms. So that is, being coachable, especially nowadays, is, I think, the biggest thing you need to be able to be, is coachable.
So it's almost kind of like finding a way to put your ego aside in a way.
Yeah, you got to be unselfish.
Yeah.
In basketball, I'm not the best player on the team. I'm getting the ball either creating for Kwesi, creating for Caleb, creating for Chase, creating for Lokai, all those great scorers. And then if I have my opportunity to, get a bucket because someone's overplaying Kai, I'm going to go do that. You got to know your role on a team and be able to be unselfish, because, you can't just think, all right, I'm going to go get 20 tonight. You got to do what's best for the way the defense is playing you. So, some nights people like to deny Kwesi. Or if I dribble out of Kwesi, he probably should backdoor dive, and then I got to go play with someone else. You know what I'm saying? So you got to really be unselfish and really be, really be coachable, because that's, the biggest thing in sports, and people don't understand. A lot of kids nowadays don't understand that. That's something that's super important, and you got to take serious.
Yeah, because I feel like it's you could be the best player out there, but all your teammates hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
That's not good.
No,
that's not good.
It's not beneficial, because it doesn't matter if you scored 30 points and we won, but how are you as a teammate? I feel like that's one of the most important things over how many points you score, how many assists you get, how many rebounds you get, just how good of a teammate you are. Because people aren't going to remember how many points you score. They're going to remember how you treated them.
Yeah, facts.
So, but then earlier you were talking about community service. So how do you feel like as an athlete, and now you're going to be at a higher scale, you'll be playing in the Big 12, how do you feel like you'll be able to use your platform to effectively influence other people?
I mean, I always post, when I go out and do stuff, I'll probably post about it and stuff like that, but we do a lot of, going to schools, reading books to the feeder programs like the Spring Mills Primary, Potomac, the middle schoolers, and also we go to Potomac. I'm about to start going to Potomac to help kids that are struggling in school and that, or not, that are going through tough times. Maybe doesn't have that person there to tell them what they're doing wrong and what they need to fix and stuff like that. But we're gonna be doing that here coming up here soon. Just giving back to what people were giving to me when I was younger and stuff like that. So I mean, I think it's really important. And then when I get up to WU, I hopefully want to get involved with the people that are going through tough times in the hospital, because the hospital's right next to the football field. So I mean, going in there, making people's days, they get to meet a WU football player, making their day, even though they're going through a tough time. Coming in there, supporting them, telling them, I'm here for you, and that you got a great guy, and just a great guy to look up to, and not only look up to, but just have a great person on their side that can help them go through this tough time. So,
for sure.
It's gonna be awesome and exciting. I can't wait for that.
Have you been working on your autograph at all?
Oh yes, I actually have. It's bad. It's not good. I need to get better at that. But I've been working on that. Because as you see, you probably seen it a lot. Kids come up to us and want stuff written and stuff like that, and autographed and stuff. So we've been doing that. But I've for sure been working on that. It needs to get a lot better. It's not good enough. So I need to get better at that. But I have been. It's dope. It's dope signing stuff for the kids.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those things where I think a lot of kids are kind of terrified or scared to come ask, but not all players are like, no, I won't sign your stuff. Max is one of those people where, if you walked up to him with four dozen footballs and a couple of jerseys, he'd probably sign every last one of them and something extra for you. Same thing with me. If you came up to me, I'd do the same thing. But
I love the kids, appreciating, the way I play. They love watching me play. They come to watch me play. It's awesome for y'all to, be able to, come up to me and you be inspired by the stuff that I do and being motivated or just even loving watching me play. Like, I love giving back to y'all because y'all give so much to me. Y'all come support me. Y'all come support my team. Y'all come support us. So, I really take that serious and giving back because I really appreciate that because, if y'all weren't there, then, the crowds would be dead and it would be no energy. But y'all come and bring the energy. Y'all are loud. Y'all are excited. And, I appreciate all that. So, I'd always, if y'all always came up to me, I'd always write it because y'all come support me and I'm going to support y'all back. So, that's how it works.
And I think another thing I feel like you've talked about too is you'll go to younger kids' games too.
Oh, yeah. Like this morning I was at Coach Law's son's semifinal game. I go out. I do a lot for the kids, because y'all do so much for me. I appreciate that. So, I got to give back what y'all give to me. And I'm not going to just, spend all y'all's time watching me play and not return the favor. Like, that'd be, I don't know the word.
I wouldn't say selfish, but it'd be one-sided. It's one of those
it'd be
things.
one-sided to, y'all come watch me and support me, but me not do the same thing back. So that's just not the way I roll. I like giving back to what's given to me. So
it's kind of like coming from a point of like gratitude almost, like a point of like wholeness, completeness, where it's like I feel so complete. I'm receiving all of this support, all this love from you guys. Like I can't help but just give it back.
Yeah, and that's like we were talking about earlier. That's just like another why. Why I do the things I do is because y'all support. I have the support system. I have people that believe in me, people that want to see me succeed. So why would I just give it up all now just give it up all now and make all that belief to all the haters that can just say, hey, I knew it. I knew you couldn't do it. I knew that whatever. But y'all showed so much support in me and believe in me. It'd be just, I guess you could say, arrogant for me not to be able to, just to give up and stuff like that. So, that's just another why,
Yeah. And so, obviously, you don't have, at least I doubt that you do have any, what's it called? There's no point where you're going to be done with sports anytime soon. But looking after life after sports, how do you feel like you prepare for that?
I mean, sports don't go on forever, there's an end. There's eventually an end to sports. And, for me, I want to play as long as I can. And I'm going to continue to work towards that. But after sports, I'm going to college to get my business degree. And I kind of have a plan of what I want to do. I want to start a business and maybe like some type of sports complex with an inside turf field. Like I feel like I do something like that. And then, being a business guy, you can always do more stuff with that. But, like my main goal is, maybe build a sports complex in Martinsburg that people can go and train inside in the winter because there's no really indoor, really indoor field place around here that you can go train that's not 40 to 30 minutes away, not even longer than that.
Yeah.
I want to do that and then, do some other things and, maybe be a trainer, maybe be a coach. But there's a lot of things I want to do even after my playing days. But if I can play for a while, I want to play as long as I can. So that's the main thing for me. So.
And could you see yourself? So like, let's say you go to college, you get drafted, play in the NFL for however long you play. Would you see yourself staying around those sports? Maybe going to coaching, maybe the media.
Oh yeah, and like when I go to college, I'm gonna major in business and then I want to minor in like a coaching degree and stuff like that. And like. And do that. But like, if I get out of playing, like if I don't play, like if I do whatever, go to the NFL, or if I go to college and the end of my college career ends in my college life, I would love to become a coach and teach people the life lessons that I've learned, teach people the game, teach what I've learned from college, learned from high school, and learned from all my whole life playing, and give back to. The kids coming up that are also maybe inspired by me, inspired by their players that just want to be great in their sport. So teaching them how to be great, also, staying in the game because I love the game, and that'd be awesome. So that's something I want to do, and if I do get out of it.
And with going into college, playing at WVU, playing in the Big 12, that puts you in the running for the CFP, the college football playoffs. So. What's kind of got you most excited about that? Because now you're playing for national championships.
I mean, it's big. I mean, the stage can't get any bigger than that. And, that's something that I want to hopefully get to play in, be a part of. I mean, just playing college football in general is just like, it's just a blessing. Being able to play college football in any level is it's just a blessing to be able to do. And, you know, I'm going to take every opportunity serious and seize my moments and, you know, you do everything I can to be able to, you know, compete for that. But yeah, I want to do everything I can to put West Virginia University in a position to be able to compete for that. Whether it's just working hard, and even if I'm not playing my freshman year, I'm, you know, be an unselfish player and do everything I can to make my teammates better. Because if I'm not playing, I'm gonna be in practice, and I gotta make those guys better to go be able to, you know, compete for that. So I mean, I'm gonna do everything I can to, you know, become better for myself, but also make my team better. So, yeah.
So how do you kind of see yourself evolving over these next 4 or 5 years?
I just want to take it one day at a time and just continue to, you know, grind, you know, keep my head down and keep working and keep working and keep working. Because, you know, obviously, you know, me going to W, I also obviously want to start. So I want to go play, but I also want to make myself better and also make my teammates better. And I, you know, that's one thing I'm excited about, is going down there, learning from great guys, great quarterbacks. I mean, there's a wonderful quarterback room down there. I can't wait to compete with them and also, you know, get to learn from them, because they're really talented players from all over, you know, this country. And, you know, you get to learn different play styles, but also, you know, can't wait to meet my team, my line, the receivers. Can't wait to play with my boy JB. You know, he's from Martinsburg. You know, Gerard Bowie from Martinsburg, Keyshawn Robinson from Jefferson. Like a lot of guys that are from West Virginia that I've got to talk to and known, and they've texted me too. So, you know, I'm just excited to meet all of them and really grind with them and put in the work, because, you know, and you can't get any better than that, and especially doing something you love, and it's going to be so fun. I'm excited for it. So it's gonna be dope.
And I know we talked about this in our interview a couple weeks ago. What was the deciding factor? Because you had multiple schools interested in you. What was the deciding factor in choosing WVU?
I mean, one thing, what, you know, a lot of people know is that, you know, WVU has always been my dream school. You know, watching my uncle play for WVU, growing up as a kid, I've always wanted to wear that jersey, always wanted to be out of that field, always wanted to, you know, sing Country Roads, actually wearing the jersey and it meaning something.
That's cool.
But also the way the coaches valued me and they talked to me, like they actually wanted me to be there, be a part of their program, and they seen potential in me of what I've done and what I've done for Spring Mills, and that they think I can bring some really good stuff over to Morgantown. And not only all that, but the great facilities that they have. They have the wonderful weight room, a wonderful training staff. You know, they got a whole bunch of therapy stuff, and all bunch like pools and indoor pools. They got a barber shop inside the locker room.
That's cool. Yeah,
the locker room lights up and all that type of stuff. They got, I mean, it's just, you know, everything you'd want, and, you know, it's everything, you know, I've dreamed of as a kid. So it's just like, why not take advantage of my opportunity? And, you know, I believe in myself to be able to go, you know, do great things at that school. So why not go do it at somewhere I've always dreamed about, you know, being a part of and doing. So I'm super excited about that, and, you know, it's always something I've always dreamed of, so let's go chase it.
Yeah, for sure. You can almost pretty much say that, you know, you basically created that. You imagined it, because I can just imagine young Max just like imagining himself playing in the Coliseum, or not the Coliseum, but playing at
Milan Puskar Stadium.
Yeah, the Milan Puskar Stadium, and just, you know, imagine throwing that game-winning touchdown, that just standing there in that Mountaineer jersey. It's just something you pretty much, like, you created it.
Yeah, man. You got to chase your dreams, bro. If you really believe in yourself, you know, you can really do it. So, I mean, if you can vision it, if you can, you know, dream about it and sleep on it, you know, see yourself doing it. If you really do what it takes to go accomplish that, you know, anything's possible.
For sure. And so, as an athlete, how do you feel like you define your legacy, and, like, what do you want to be remembered for personally?
Everyone remembers, you know, all this good stuff you did in your sport, what you've accomplished, what you've done for, you know, Spring Mills in an athletic way. But I just want people to remember me as, you know, not only a good athlete, but, you know, a good human being, a good person that not only did great things in his sport, but also, you know, gave back and, you know, really impacted other people's lives, and, you know, really been not only a good, you know, person, but also a good role model. So I want people to know that, you know, I'd be there if I'm, you know, y'all always, like I was saying earlier, y'all always there supporting me. I always want to, you know, give back and support y'all. So, like I said, going to read to school books to little kids. Last year, also did like a drug program thing, dressing up in a mascot.
That's cool.
Dressing up in a mascot, you know, saying don't take drugs and stuff like that, and doing all that type of stuff. I just want people, just to remember how good, not only of a good athlete I am, but also a good human being as well. So
I love that. I think that's one of the biggest things is being a good human being. Yeah, you could be the best player in the world. You can have all the money in the world, but who you are truly to the core is what is most important.
Yeah. And not even like, I'm not perfect. I have my flaws, there's stuff that, I'm not the best at, but I try my best every day to be the best as I can, and not always striving to be better. So not everyone's going to be, the best in all aspects, but I try my best to work on that stuff and be better. So
yeah. And so with basketball season coming to an end, you guys just played your last regular season home game, not only as a senior. What are you looking forward to stepping into this playoff season? Because the EPAC's competitive.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we play winner of Hedgesville and Jefferson, I'm pretty sure. I think so. Yeah.
That sounds right.
Hedgesville and Jefferson. So, just taking one game at a time, and, whoever we go against, like I was telling you yesterday, we got to really be down in on this one game because anything can happen. Yeah. We could practice. Anything can happen, from injuries maybe to even, I pray that doesn't happen, but like anything. So we just got to, be dialed in, take these next 4 games because we have 4 games left if we count the state tournament, if we make it to the state championship or not. But, really being dialed in one game at a time, like I said, you got to live in the now. So we got to really take the now serious and, not sleep on opponents and, really work hard and go take what's ours. We gotta go take what's ours and work hard and do what we're supposed to do.
For sure. Because I know coming into this season, there's a lot of bad blood from the previous season because you guys end up losing 35-32 off of a buzzer beater against Morgantown, who more than likely who you'll end up playing in the state championship game. So kind of like walk me through that feeling of last year to, I guess, finding that fuel for this year.
Yeah, last year, we were up and we struggled getting the ball in bounds when they started pressing us because they were down. And, we had some turnovers, had some missed layups, missed some free throws, which was really the big thing about that game. We missed some big free throws that could have been really good for us, that could have sealed that game. But taking that into perspective that we let them make one more good play than us. And, learning that we also made some mistakes that could have changed that game. But looking back at it and, letting that loss fuel us into coming into this season, working hard in the summer, getting shots up, not letting the same stuff that happened last year, getting better at what we messed up in that game last year and perfecting it to get better from this year. And, that's what I think we took from last year's loss. And, we hope to go down to the state tournament. And if we get to the state championship game, play better, I guess you could say, a better and more perfected game than we did last year.
For sure. And so one thing that I noticed about being around you guys is that you guys don't seem to shy away from the big stage. So kind of walk me into your mentality going into the state tournament, being the defending state runner-up. Kind of walk me through that.
Last year, we came into the state tournament first time ever. Yeah. And Springville's never been to a state tournament appearance. And, we come in beating the first 2 games, the teams by 30. Not even, it was bad. And we just blowing them out. And that's, we want to be on the big stage. We want people to know who we are. We want people to remember, where we are. And, that's what I was saying about earlier. We've always felt that we were doubted. So when we get to those big stages, we want to prove you wrong. We want to show you what we're capable of. We'll show you what we're made of. So, and Coach Sam was always did a good job of, making us be ready for when we get to the big stage. So always from, in the summer to traveling, playing against Capital Hoops in the Capital League, playing against the best teams and probably some of the best teams in the country. Yeah. To that really helps transform us. So when we get to the big stages, like in the state championship or get to the state tournament games, we're ready. And, we don't shy away from competition. We want to play the best team. We want to play the best of the best because, we don't want to beat people that, that people don't think are as good, and then they can say, oh, they're beating scrubs. No, we want to play against the best because we want to show you that we're the best. So that's why we want to play in the big stages. We love it. So
I can truly see that just with your schedule. You guys play Morgantown. You start off the season with GW or not GW, Parkersburg South. Parkersburg South. You're playing Lindsley,
and then we scheduled John Hanley mid-season. Yeah,
so, and they're what, number 1, number 2 in
Winchester,
they were
the number 1 team in Virginia. So Yeah, we don't shy away from we want to play we want to play the best of the best to show you that we, what we're capable of. So we love the competition.
And this season's probably one of those really special seasons. Not only is it your senior season, but it's been, say, a roller coaster of emotion season. You start off the season without your head coach, without Samples, and then halfway through he gets taken away. So kind of like walk me through what's going through your mind.
Oh, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, like those that's the stuff that's outside of your control. It's hard, but you got to be able to, you got to be able to dial in and move on. You got to be able to. It might suck. You might not agree with it, but you got to really work hard for your teammates. And y'all, at the end of the day, y'all still got a goal. Our goal is to win a state championship.
Yeah.
So we can't let that distract us, and that be an excuse to ruin our season. We still gotta practice hard every day. We still gotta show up. We still gotta play hard. We still gotta come out with that fire, and we gotta be ready for every game because. Like I said, like we were talking about earlier, we can't let that outside noise and what the people say affect us. We still gotta go, and we gotta go get that goal, and we gotta go. Like I was saying, take what's ours.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching you guys play. The sky, like I know people say the sky's the limit, but honestly, I think you guys are gonna break through the sky.
Oh yeah,
I can see it. So, what do you feel like is the one piece of advice you would give this next generation of athletes?
I think one thing that, I would give to the next generation is that if y'all have dreams and y'all have aspirations, no matter where you come from, but like if you just put your head down and really work hard and do whatever it takes to, achieve that goal, and, knowing that you're human, you're going to have times where, you don't feel like doing it. You want to go have fun instead. You want to go do this. You're going to have those moments, and you can go do that. But if you really want to, achieve a goal in your life, no matter what it is, from playing sports to being a teacher, being whatever, being a NASCAR driver, whatever you want to do, you just gotta really put your head down and go work for it. And if you really put the work in and do what it takes to be a successful person in life, you can accomplish it. You just gotta believe in yourself. No matter if anyone doubts you, and anyone could doubt you. Not even your own family could doubt you and not believe that you can go accomplish what you want to accomplish. If you believe in what you want to do, and you go do what it takes to go get that, I promise you, you'll achieve that. You just gotta believe in yourself and go do it. So
yeah, it's really about having that desire. Not just like, oh, I'd like to do this, I might do this. No, it's having a conviction, a desire, saying like, no, I'm going to do this, I will do this, and nothing's going to stop me from doing this. It's about staying disciplined, pushing through, doing what you're supposed to do, what you know you're supposed to do, even though you might not want to do it. Persevering, going through that adversity, saying with a growth mindset, saying that I will do whatever it takes to learn, to grow, and I'm determined. Being a leader, not just on the field, on the court, but outside of that. Practicing what you preach, being willing to grow. It's all of these things that separate somebody from being okay and being great. Because if you want to be great, it's not easy. It's not easy.
And one thing I'll take from what I see around from sports from what I see from sports nowadays is, if you really want to be different in your sport and really catch coaches' eyes and catch coaches' attention, is what we were talking about earlier. Be coachable, be a leader, be hardworking, be a dog, be disciplined, and if you do all those things, you'll stand out from a lot of players, because a lot of players don't want to be a leader. They don't want to they don't want to communicate. They don't want to talk. They don't want to do that stuff. Like if you be a leader, you're coachable, you work hard, you're disciplined, and you're just a dog and a competitor and always want to win. You have those 5 things, bro. You'll be a real successful person in anything you do. So
yeah, for sure. So. This is the end, episode 3 of Royal Vision Podcast. Before Max goes, he's got a couple games coming up. They're, like we were talking about earlier, regional tournament, also the trip to states, possible trip to states for basketball. So this following week they'll be playing the winner of Hedgesville and Jefferson. That'll be at home at Spring Mills High School, so go check them out. And then from that point forward, then they'll have 2 games to make it to the state championship game, and then the potential to play in that state championship game for a second year in a row, and that'll be about the 3rd, 4th week of March. I think it's that Saturday, which I think is like 27th, 28th, around there.
They like to make the state championship on Saturday, so yeah, that sounds right.
So you'll get one more chance to go check out Max and Spring Mills Cardinals here at home before they make their way to Charleston. So go check them out. They're a great program, a great team to watch. You see nothing but greatness when you watch them. It's a bunch of kids that they put their head down and they go to work, that they want to make an impact in this community at their school. They want to make their school proud, and that's something that you can admire. So, Max, is there anything you want to tell the Kingdom?
Yeah, man. If you're, hey, like I was saying earlier, go chase your dreams, bro. No matter what it is. If you really love what you do, and you really want to be successful, and you really want to accomplish, what people think you can't do, just work hard, be a dog, be disciplined, and you'll accomplish everything you want to do. So just go chase your dreams and go chase what you think people can't think you can do.
For sure. All right, guys. It's been Coach Matthew, Max Anderson, saying peace out, love you guys, and welcome to the Kingdom.
Yo, let's go.